Hi, I'm Danita Westman, the well-rounded fiberista, and I'm your fiber arts teacher now. Settle in, class is just beginning. Today, I wanted to show you one of my most recent finished objects, or FOs, and I wanted to bring this in because it's my first FO of the year, and I'm a little bit late talking about it because I've been under the weather, but I really wanted to show you the finished product because if you were following my shorts last fall, you saw me open all of these yarns as part of an unboxing for Halloween with the McMullin Fiber Company. And I wanted to share with you the finished project. McMullin Fiber Company is an independent dyer based out of my home state here in Ohio, and they started doing different boxes throughout the year that would be little mystery boxes, and they come in these cute little packages. And if you want to see all of the openings, you can head over to my playlist for my 2022 reveals, and all of them are there so you can see how cute the presentation is and how much I liked the colors initially upon first impression. So this fall's mystery reveal box was a 13-day opening, and you had the option to add on, in addition to the 13-day mini skeins, you had the option to add on a full skein if you wanted as well, and that's the option that I took. And I opened them up and immediately saw kind of a gradient, not a true gradient, more of a fade that could be made out of the colors that came just in that box. And I had a full skein to go around and kind of tie those colors together. And I had about 1,500 yards, and I really wanted to use all of those things in one project to kind of commemorate that box that all came as a kit and use it as a kit. So I went searching for a good pattern that would either be written for minis or would be easily adaptable to the shifting colors using the mini skeins. And the mini skeins were pretty decent size. I believe they were 25 grams each, and I had that full 100 plus gram skein to work with to kind of tie it all together, and I wanted to show you what I came up with. The pattern that I found is the Adventurous pattern by Ambah O'Brien, and that is available a couple different places online. If you search for Ambah, AMBAHO''BRIEN, you can find her designs. She's a very prolific designer. She's from down under, and she's got some great, really unique design aesthetics or design options that I'm not seeing from a lot of designers right now. So I really like her unique eye for shape and for form, and kind of the way that her brain kind of wraps yarn around into a unique way. And the shawl itself was a perfect knit for the holidays. After I opened all of those mini skeins in October, I wanted to knit my way through November and December and into the new year with something that would be very calming, very soothing, and wouldn't stress me as far as the technical detail of the knit. It wouldn't, tap my resources too much during an already busy and sometimes, frankly, a hard time of year for a lot of us between seasonal depression and holidays and all of that stuff. I wanted something that would be nice and soothe and calming and would be kind of fortifying and give me something reliable that I could get my hands moving to help process all of the things that come up during the darkest and coldest season of the year for those of us who are in the northern hemisphere. And this project completely fit the bill. A few things about the pattern: it is very approachable. It was very well laid out, very well written, easily adaptable. The formatting was clean. It was easy to read. I used my iPad for directions. It was downloadable as a PDF, so I was following along on my screen on my iPad. And once you got into the established part of the work where it's just rinse, lather, repeat until you hit a certain point, it was very easy for me to put my stitch markers in to mark my place and then memorize so that I didn't have to think about it. My hands could just do the work, and I could just enjoy the colors and the sensation of the yarn flowing through my hands, which was really exactly what I needed for this time of year. So here is the finished object. And I'm going to back up a little bit. So as I unroll it all, it turned out to be quite a sizable shawl. And the construction was genius, frankly. When I saw the secret sauce of the pattern, which I will not give away, I just went, oh, it's so brilliant because it's so simple and it's genius. So Ambah, if you ever see this, congratulations for being a simple, crazy innovator of the simplest things to make a great effect for a shawl. So here's the first wing. And then the midsection here. And then the second wing coming down. And it is nice, soft, squishy garter stitch. And I love the chevron look without a ton of increases and decreases. I love the squishy garter fabric that it worked up as. Mine is a little bit bigger than what the pattern called for because I wanted to use all of my yardage. It's a little bit too thick for my taste to wrap around kind of like this and wear as a shawl with my tails in the front because of how long this front section is. It's probably, you know, close to 20 inches wide, maybe more here. So it's a little bit too bulky for that, but it's perfect if you want to wrap something around your shoulders, especially if you're at a desk or in an environment that has a lot of air conditioning. It wraps perfectly all the way around your shoulders. As you can see, it just wants to roll right around your neck, and you've got those nice long tails that you can either cross in the front and kind of tuck around behind if you want. They're going to cover part of your lap if you're chilly and maybe in a dress or a skirt. It's really just, it's hitting a lot of boxes for me, and it's so cozy. Some of these colors are not colors that I typically embrace or can usually wear, especially this gold rust color. Not something that I can put close to my face, but I put it down near the edge of that shawl and couched it in a blue, which I can wear and do wear regularly, and let it fade into colors that are a little bit more conducive with my skin tone, and it worked out great. I made sure that my colors that were toward the center were going to be a little bit more face friendly to my skin tone, and planned everything out ahead of time so that I had that gradient effect kind of from the solids through the variegated, the blues, and then the purples here on the edge. And then on the other side, I've got the golds gradiating into the purples toward the middle as well. I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's very cuddly cozy. It absolutely could just be tucked about on a day that's not quite cold enough for a coat. Just kind of tuck it around, grab a little shawl stick, shove it through, call it a day, and go from there. Grab a little shawl pin maybe, and you're good to go. I really, really am happy with this project. It's very huggable. It feels like a hug. It's a hug from an Ohio dyer and a woman-owned business and a female designer with a great aesthetic, and I'm really happy with it. The yarn held up great. I didn't have any problems, as I'm sure you can probably see. I didn't have any problems with color running where it shouldn't. The colors were very color fast, and I wash in my municipal water a little bit warmer than body temperature, and didn't have any problem with running, fading, bleeding in the water, and it was not splitty. I didn't have a bunch of breaks or knots or joins. There weren't defects in the yarn that I had to cut out. I was really, really happy all in all with every part of this experience, from the unboxing, the cute packaging, the individual colors of yarn that kind of pushed me outside of my comfort zone a little bit, and then every step along this way of this pattern that was designed for use with mini skeins. Even though I did it a little bit differently than Ambah's direction, I'm still really pleased, and I'm really thrilled to recommend any of the individual elements of these, including more boxes from McMullin Fiber Company in the future, and any of Ambah O'Brien's designs. I've have several of them in my library. The formatting, the layout, the language, everything is very clear and easy to read. This is my unsolicited review from things that I purchased that I just love and want to share. Nobody promoted this for me. Nobody sent me anything to review. I purchased all of this myself, and I'm just really, really happy with it. And I like to promote good quality things and good experiences that I have with my yarn. So I hope that you've enjoyed seeing this final product. I'm going to stand up here and back away from the camera. Maybe you can see it better. There we go. Get the full scope of this shawl here. I hope you've enjoyed seeing it, and I'll see you next time. The theme for this fall's mystery box was Defense Against the Dark Arts. So it was a 13-day refresher course for the Defense Against the Dark Arts class, and that was the theme for each of the colorways of yarn, was inspired by an incantation that would be uttered to help defend yourself against the dark forces that may be in the world. And we're not going to touch on any of that that's going on in that wider world, if you will, but know that this intellectual property means a lot to some people, and it's done a lot of harm to some people as well. And this is kind of my unsolicited review, my unsolicited advice. This is my, I was on a roll too.